Hey, what's going on, YouTube? All right, so let's get right down to it. CeCe Winans' newest, it's Sunday, so why not, right? CeCe Winans' newest album entitled Let Them Fall in Love, which I think is such a beautiful title. The whole album is amazing, amazing. And as much as I wish that her choosing to title the album Let Them Fall in Love is her way of sort of saying let people fall in love with whomever they want to fall in love with. I know that's not necessarily what she's talking about, because the title track doesn't really talk about that. But all of that aside, it's an amazing, excellent album, and I love it. And what I wanted to talk about today, she has a song on that album called Run to Him. She talks about hearing about him in Sunday songs and all that stuff, and but my image of him was distant. My image was wrong. It turns out he's so much closer. And that really got me to thinking. One, I remember when I first started really going to church on a regular basis, because I used to not go to church at all. I used to be one of those people who straight up 100% was like Christians. And I did used to go to church every now and then, but for me, the hypocrisy that I would see displayed so fervently amongst the strongest Christians made Christianity something very unattractive to me. But especially when I got to college, Before college, I would kind of go to church, but once I got to college, I was like, no. After college, due by and large to a lot of those life changes that I was going through, I started going to church regularly. And I love singing, and I, of course, joined the choir. And when I was singing in the choir, I was used to, because my minor in college was classical voice, music. And I'm used to when you sing in college choir, and even in high school choir, but whatever. But you stand, you face the director, you keep your eye on the director for their cue. But what somebody told me, I don't think this was a good thing to tell somebody, but I guess I get it. He was like, when you sing, don't look at me. I think he was like directing a song. He's like, don't look at me. When you sing, look up, because that's where God is. And I'm like, okay. And I sort of just accepted that. And then, whenever I would sing, I would always look up because that's where God is. But in the back of my mind, I'd also be like, but don't we say God is everywhere? So why is it that I always look up to see God if God is everywhere? And I realized that him telling me that I had to look up to God where God is, because that's the only place that he is. And I'm saying he because, of course, he's a he and not a she. Oh my gosh, that's another topic for another day. But anyway, look up to where God is, he slash she. God Almighty, from my perspective, has no gender. Because even in the Bible, it says that God doesn't even see gender when we get up to God. But whatever. But so I realized having me look up to him, looking up, that sort of developed in me this thought that God Almighty, the higher power, is so far away, that he's only in the sky, and that he can't be close. So that's why when CeCe Winans said, my image of him was distant, my image was wrong, it turns out he's so much closer, that really did something to me. I'm not gonna lie. And I'm not gonna go into right now the fact that if I hadn't discovered the church that I now go to that's accepting and loving of everybody, I probably would not affiliate myself with the church at all at this point. And I thought that was really interesting. It turns out he's so much closer. He's not only up there. Yes, he's up there. She's up there. God Almighty is up there. But God Almighty is also right here with us. Anyway, talk to y'all later, YouTube. Peace. Be blessed.